What is up? Yo, I just realised I've been drinking a Jack Daniels and Coke, and I've not actually paid attention that I was actually drinking. I've got to grab the can. So yeah, that's an intro. Just open up a can of Warpass before we start the show.
Oh dear,
getting
drunk.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, it's me, Caps, joined with Deeks and Shades as always. Obviously, giving the weekly roundup. It's now just not a WWE weekly roundup. It's now a full weekly roundup of wrestling. We try and cover as much as we can. There's no TNA on the show this week. However, it can be brought up if you guys want to throw it into the comment section. Obviously, we'll talk about it as we go along. Thank you for everyone that's already joined us. I can see that you're joining us on X at the moment. So let's get into it, guys. Before we start, SummerSlam predictions. This is happening. Obviously, this is happening next week. We were literally just discussing the plans for how we're going to do our watch along or whatever it is for SummerSlam. If we do a watch along, we'll let you know. Obviously, there'll be a broadcast and stuff like that. The SummerSlam predictions are happening next week. Overall, guys, what are your thoughts on this week's just view of wrestling? It's been mad busy, right?
It's been very busy. Some parts have been shocking. Some bits have been like, okay, that's interesting as well. So it's been a fun week. It's been an interesting week. It's been a good week.
Mm-hmm. Jade, what do you reckon?
Oh, where do you begin? This week has been mad on all different shows. WWE, AW, TNA, madness across the board. Storylines being created and evolved everywhere. Oh,
there's a lot to get into, man.
Just so much good.
Yeah. So before we start, guys, I'm not ready for this. However, I know full well you guys are. We are sponsored by Rogue Energy. It is the premium energy drink that fuels your focus, whether you're streaming, gaming, working, or hitting a gym. There's no jitters, just sustained energy. Elevate your day with Rogue. Use code THEHOUNDS. That's THEHOUNDS. That's code THEHOUNDS. That's THEHOUNDS at the checkout for 10% off. You can use it once per purchase, but you can use it on every single purchase. All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with Raw, obviously, as we go down. Gunther and Damian Priest shit's kicking off, right? It's interesting. Like I'm liking this build. Like it was a very slow at the start. Obviously, we knew Gunther was the king of the ring. We're now getting the match closer and closer, getting to the match at SummerSlam. What was your thoughts on this segment? Deeks can go first.
Well, this segment was very quick and explosive from Damian Priest. That guy's got a short fuse right now. Mm-hmm. Come out straight up. Didn't say a word. Clean right hand to the mush. Dropping.
If there was ever a way for us to actually really sound extra British, it's when you say a clean right hand to the mush. Like, it doesn't get any more British. Carry on.
If anyone's thrown a clean right hand to the mush out there, they should be very proud of doing that. It's very hard to do.
It was a solid moment.
It was clean.
I really enjoy it. I think this is probably going to be. We've had the build for the Jey Uso stuff with obviously a backlash.
Yeah.
I don't really think we've had a really strong, and I say this loosely, right? But I don't think we've had a really strong person be a major competitor for Damian Priest yet. In terms of everything about them. Jey Uso is a big fan favorite, yes, but was he going to beat Gunther? Was he going to beat Damian Priest? We'll never know because obviously the interference. But Gunther seems like he's the guy that can. And it's an interesting booking, especially knowing that you don't want to bury either guy. See Priest carrying the title here, and Gunther obviously being the king of the ring, and obviously coming off of a legendary IC run. Right, Shades, let me bring you in. What are your thoughts on this build, the way things have gone so far?
I'm finally happy that we're actually there. Yeah, it started off like a turtle and has gone straight fire, lion blazing.
It started off like a turtle.
The build up to these two started off slow. Yeah, it and now we're going at the speed of a cheetah. You know, they've gone from talking to nothing to not wanting to knock each other out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Quoting my good friend, one punch to the mush. I look forward to this match.
Maybe
you know,
if the show gets bigger, we put that on a t-shirt. One punch to the mush.
As you said, Gunther's coming off the most iconic intercontinental reign of all time. Now, the question being, is he strong enough to take down Damian Priest and then go on the best world heavyweight championship run?
Right,
Can he go 2 for 2?
I don't know. I'll tell you what I do know. We will cover all of our thoughts. Go on.
This is what I'm talking about Raw still.
All right, go for it.
We know that the Judgment Day like to get involved in Priest's matches.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that they didn't come out when these two were going nuts. Because you got to remember, Gunther has his friends. Priest obviously has his friends. Gunther's got one known friend, but I'm sure he's got friends in the back.
Yeah, obviously Ludwig Kaiser.
He's currently injured.
I have a feeling that when we get there, this is going to be an interference just manifest of madness.
I'm going to disagree here, mate. Now Rhea's back. She's going to keep control of the boys and keep them out of the way. Not unless Priest wants them there.
See, the thing is, I would say, let me just show me quick. Priest all along has been telling them he doesn't want them involved in his matches. So now with Rhea back, is she going to be still sidelined with this stuff with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio? Or is she going to be able, enough to be able to keep the other goons from Judgment Day at bay, so to allow Damian Priest to really show what he can do? But then, as you're saying, Gunther, I reckon Gunther's going to go out there on his own. It's interesting, man. It's going to be such a hard thing to kind of plan and predict.
Yeah.
But, as I said, we do have our SummerSlam predictions coming up, and obviously on the predictions we'll be discussing this a lot more in detail, what we think is going to happen and stuff like that. Obviously, this is just a recap. I really want to move on though to something that is interesting. Me and Shade kind of had a chat about this off air, and I know Shade and Deeks have as well. Ilja versus Bron. Oh mate, right. Those that are listening, obviously we want you to get involved in the conversations. So comment down below. That'd be great. Do you guys think the move of the spear from Bron, one, did Ilja crack his head, or was it his shoulder? Because to me it looked like his shoulder, but it looked like he hit his head on the mat on impact. Right, that's the first thing. And two, do you guys think this is a work, or do you think this is legit?
I think it's legit because in the video, if you watch it scene by scene slowly, it's shoulder then head hits as well. So it's like a whiplash effect. Is it
is that on the side of the ring though, or is that
on the side on the side of the ring on these plastic balding they've got around there on the side of the ring? He hits his shoulder, then head, then hits the mat. So I think it's whiplash effect. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Whiplash.
I've watched it a few times now, and all I can see is him hitting his shoulder. Shades, come in a sec, Shades. You said you think he hit his head.
100%. So I watched it. I managed to find different angles of it. So when I was looking into it in detail, it's like when using this as an example, when we was at the live show, I sent you boys different angles from people, filming on their phone and that.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing. I was just typing up, looking for different angles, and I could find different angles. And with my phone, I can zoom in. I can pull stuff, zoom in really far. So I was in and I played it frame by frame, as Deke said. And from different angles, it's confirmed he hits his head. So it goes shoulder first. Yeah, when the spear hits, he hits his shoulder. His head goes back, knocks on the plastic part of the ring apron.
Yeah,
and then as he goes down, he hits his head really hard on the floor.
See, I would say I know full well he hits his head. His head hits the mat hard, right? But I've watched it about 3 or 4 times, and from the angle that I've seen, it still just looks like it's his left shoulder that hits. But then the ref doesn't grab the hand. She doesn't throw the X up. It's just a really, really weird.
She did check his hand.
Did she grab his hand? Or
yeah, she did.
I know something happened. Did she grab it and then he doesn't squeeze?
She grabbed his hand and he did not squeeze at all.
He doesn't respond at all. He's just laying there twitching out.
Right, but normally, if that is the case, they put an X up.
She did. She went back in the ring, put her X up, and then
there was no X. There was no X. Everyone was talking about it, and they said not once does she put the X up. She doesn't throw up an X. No,
so she did.
No, so no X is thrown up.
She didn't put an X up, but from a statement that I managed to find, and I don't know if it's verified or not, but it's from someone who's in the States and follows WWE around and covers them themselves. And a statement they put up revealed that the referee didn't throw the X up because she went straight onto the talk box and got medics running down. Obviously, the medics appeared real quick. You know, when you look at something that they're working into a storyline, the medics do not come out that fast.
Yeah, but then when they were there, the medics were saying to Ilja, what happened? Like, they just watched it happen. Like, it just feels like, regardless of what happens, an X should be put up because the wrestler's in danger. Like, that's to me why I feel like
maybe in the heat of the moment, she just didn't do it. You know? We don't know unless we ask the ref, and we're not going to get a chance to ask the ref, I'm sure.
And this referee in question as well is very new to refereeing as well. She's been doing it about a year as well.
Yeah, but regardless,
in the heat of the moment, she may have forgotten.
You know full well, grab the hand. If they don't squeeze back, you check it again. If you don't hear it on the voice back, then you put the X up. Like,
I know that.
The only way It's the only way that WWE work in its specific way, and they don't come out of that. So, if that is the case, then obviously the ref needs talking to. Obviously, it could be a heat of the moment thing, but I think it's a work. I really think it's a work.
Thing is, it's an opinion that we're all going to argue about, and all have different opinions on it. You know what I mean? So it's not a real. We got our opinion. You've got your opinion. We all think it's different things, but in our own ways, we're all correct and all wrong. So it doesn't. Obviously, it's a long debate.
The reason why I feel like I'll tell you what quickly. The reason why I feel like it is a work is because if you remember when the Ricochet stuff happened, right? Bron took out Ricochet, and obviously he was then written off TV. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with Ricochet contract, where he's going to appear next, so on and so on, right? But that happened. While that was happening, Ricochet was talking to Ilja, right? Now Bron's switched his focus to Ilja, and now he's taken him out, and Bron's now in a position where he can go for the IC title. Now, I'm not giving away my prediction, but it feels like if they're now going to give the IC title to Bron, right, at SummerSlam, the first person to come back to crash basically Bron's party would be Ilja. And that sets up a feud there. It just feels like...
The thing is, Ilja Dragunov and Braun Breaker have been feuding over titles in NXT, England and America for the last 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah. That's what
so
I'm
saying. It's not a new storyline.
Like,
it's a constant brawl. They've been at each other for years.
Which is why I feel like this is storyline. Because... it just seems like something's happened. I mean, since then, I don't even think... Has there been any news on, like, legit news on Ilja Dragunov? Like, anything?
I haven't heard of anything.
I'm gonna look into it now, in the background.
Because I'm looking, and I can't see nothing. It says, the only thing I can see is backstage notes, WWE Raw, Ilja reportedly fine after scary bump. That's it. And I'm seeing it everywhere. Fine after scary bump. Nothing to do with a head injury. Nothing at all.
It may have just been a minor whiplash. He may have.
It might be. I ain't got a clue. But it's interesting. Like the match was solid. These guys put on a spectacle every single time they touch.
See, that moment there, he was fine. Afterwards, when he gets speared after that, then he's loopy and heads everywhere and unconscious and things like that, and splashing out in that.
100%. But yeah, we'll carry on. Anyway, right, next we've got Sonya Deville reigns supreme. Wait, wrong one.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So are
you going back to the Ilja thing?
Yeah, I managed to find a statement, an official statement on it from 3 days ago. Dragunov's head bounced off of the ring and apron hard, leading to the referee to halt the match to ensure his safety. We will update you on Ilja's condition. He is currently resting and is in a stable condition. To me it seems like a concussion.
Who wrote that?
It's on the smartwatch, so all I can see is the paragraph.
Oh, okay. And did it tell you how many days ago that was written?
If
it was written Tuesday, obviously there's not going to be any news. So it'd come out like Wednesday, Thursday. That would be more of the update.
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment, that's just a speculation. So is that a speculation post, or is that just a clickbait post for them to get views? So that's why I'm always unsure about it.
This was released by WWE to the press at 5 a.m.
Wednesday or Thursday.
5 days ago.
So that was Monday night then.
Monday night. There you go. So if it was a WWE thing, if it was a WWE thing, then I think it could be at work.
We never know, mate. We'll fight Monday night. If it has been or not on Monday night.
Oh, I don't know.
Only time will tell, boys. Let's move on.
Exactly. Guys, if you think it was at work, let us know in the comments. Like, tell us what you think. Tell us what you think's been going on. If you like the matches and all that kind of thing. Yeah, give us your opinion. Sonya Deville reigns supreme. I tell you what, guys.
Badass.
Every week, people can mock them, but man, they look good. They look like an actual solid stable. Like
badasses.
I am really enjoying it. They look incredible. Sonya Deville obviously trying to get off some ring rust, which isn't a bad thing. Obviously, there's a few spots in the matches where things do need to change. Other than that, though, it was a solid match. And obviously, Sonya Deville reigns supreme. Thoughts on this? Are you enjoying what we've got going on here? And also, they've made like a hand symbol, right? It looks like two gun fingers put to the side or something like that. Obviously, I see a lot of people like mimicking it for the Acclaimed because they do like the scissor fingers. It doesn't look like they're doing the scissor finger for the Acclaimed, though. If you are watching AEW, obviously, you know exactly what I'm talking about. However, I'm really enjoying this trio. Deeks, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, they're a good trio. They're very reminiscent of the Shield with the hand, just the way they're walking, the way they're working as a group together. So I do like them. They're good. They're coming together quickly as well. Mm-hmm. And the ring rust is valid for us. It has been actually for over a year.
Yeah,
a year. So it takes time. So yeah.
Just quickly, I want to look at if we're saying it could be comparable. It's not a female Shield, and I'm not saying they'll be anywhere near the level of what the female Shield as a Shield, obviously, right? But if you were to compare them to each person, who's Roman, who's Seth, and who's Dean here? Do you think Sonya's Roman in equivalent?
Yeah, Sonya's Roman, definitely.
And then Shayna Baszler, who are you saying?
Seth.
Yeah.
And then you think Zoe Stark would be
Dean
Ambrose?
Yeah.
I can see it. Honestly, I can see it. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're so used to seeing the Shield kind of thing and that they stand in a certain position. But yeah, I'm really liking these women. Shades, what's your thought on this?
So what I'll say this. I love them. It's a great faction. It's a dominant faction. It's a faction that shows force and isn't afraid to get down and dirty and, demolish anyone that gets in their way.
Yeah. Carry on.
So what? And then I'll make a Shield comment here. So over the past few months, we've seen factions and we compare them to the Shield. What I'll say is, has anyone thought of how good the Shield was? Yeah.
Right.
That that factions are taking parts of the Shield and using it in their own faction as like a foundation.
It's template.
Potentially. There is a good template there for the Shield. Obviously, the way they debut.
Look at the new Bloodline. Look at this new female group. Look at some of the other groups as well. We all keep saying, "Wow, I see the Shield in them."
Yeah. But then I think with this, it's different because there's 3 of them. With the Bloodline, obviously, there's more. But
there's other 3 people factions.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
May not be as dominant, but you can like see where they've got their moves from, or see where they've got some of their style from, and it seems to all have a direct route back to the Shield.
It's their presentation, isn't it? I will say though, do they need a name? Do you think they need a name, or do you think having a name will kind of take away the identity of who they are?
At the moment, they haven't got one, but they will have one soon.
The thing is, that's one of I always think with WWE when it comes to naming a team, that's either a make or break. Unless it comes from NXT, because kind of in NXT you think, oh, okay, that didn't work. We'll let them go away for a bit. Then we'll come back and we'll bring them back as a new name. But for example, we had the Viking Raiders. Then they become like the War Raiders. Then they come like the Viking Experience. Then they become the new Viking Raiders. Like they just butchered everything about them. You know, Vince butchered them the minute they come up on the TV. They had to change their name, and I couldn't stand it. So sometimes names, when it comes to factions, can make or break a faction or a tag team, a stable, a trio, you know, whatever you want to call them. But at the moment, look, I'm enjoying it, and I think this is probably one of the best things that we've seen, kind of, in a women's division. Actually,
I'm going to say they don't need a name.
Yeah, but then what do you call them?
Just by.
I'm going to start calling them the Assassins.
So they don't need a name. Yeah, the names that they already have for each other are all they need. You've got 3 badass women.
Yeah.
You've got 3 dominant women. Put them together. Yeah. You don't need a name.
The thing is, I agree to a degree, right? Not having a name. Go on.
I would rather them have no name than get a name and the faction be ruined.
See, this is what I was going to say. I like the idea of them just being the 3 of them, but with them having a name, it's like they've distinguished something about them, and they're a full unity. Imagine if they didn't come out, like if Roman, Dean, and Seth didn't come out as the Shield, and they just come out as Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose.
Then there'd be an appeal.
There wouldn't be an appeal. There needs to be something that's appealing, and I think they need a name, but it needs to be something that suits them. Like I know Deeks was mostly joking around saying the Assassins, but it needs to be something along them lines.
If WWE Creative want to give them a name, yeah, or whether these three ladies work with Creative to come up with a name, they've got one shot. Yeah, so I think they're taking their time.
I would say there has been Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They were a part of Fire and Desire, Absolution, and obviously Paige was a part of them as well. So there has been some names, but I feel like a single solo word needs to be the word that sums them up. It can't be like when we have like Authors of Pain. It doesn't work here. Or the Gorillas of Destiny, obviously being 2 of the guys from Bloodline. It needs to be something, one word, and it's just needs to be impactful. I don't know what it is yet. If you guys can think of anything, drop it in the comments. Let us know. But let's speak about another group on the women's division. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This is actually, wait, that's SmackDown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies. Why is that going like that? I have no idea. There we go. Right, so the next thing. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Right, let's get into this weird love fest triangle thing. What is going on? What is going on with this? This honestly,
I love it.
It's so oddly, I'm getting less interested.
No.
I am getting less interested because after this feud happens, then what? No matter who wins, there is the only person that really gains, like, is going to gather momentum and gain something from this is Seth Rollins. Because he's now the special. Because he's now the special guest referee. If Drew loses, right, that's about the 6th time he's been stiffed by WWE. If Punk comes back from the injury and then he wins, right, then great. But Drew gets stiffed. If Drew wins, Punk comes back from an injury, he gets stiffed. The only person that actually looks like they're going to come out of this and not get stiffed in any way, shape, or form is Seth, because he's going to be the referee. And he's playing third fiddle to a feud. Let's go back to a Survivor Series. CM Punk walked out. Seth lost his shit. Now all of a sudden he's standing in the ring with CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be your ref." Like, there is no direction in what they've done here. The whole entire thing just seems so unprepared. Like, if someone wants to try and change my mind, feel free. I mean, Shade, you disagree, so I'll let you go first.
What is this? Well, for me to explain this, it will give away my SummerSlam prediction, but that's fine. I can do that because it's the only way for me to explain this to you. Now you've got Drew McIntyre, who's constantly been screwed over by CM Punk and WWE. Now you've got CM Punk, who got completely run over by Drew. And now you've got Seth, who hates Punk, and now for some reason just doesn't like Drew. So now, what's going to happen at SummerSlam is this. Seth's it will get halfway through the match, and I can see Seth doing something similar to the Triple H, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee match, where I can see Seth hitting some finishes. I can see Seth taking them both down.
That's inevitable. Do you know what this reminds me of?
See all hell breaking loose. This to me isn't a one-on-one special guest referee. To me, this is a triple threat match, but one of the participants is the referee. I can see it being an all-out brutal triple threat special guest referee madness war.
All right,
what should have happened is this should have been a triple threat match. If you're going to interject Seth Rollins, that's great.
He
fine.
Doesn't need to be there. What's he there for?
I know he doesn't need to be there, but if they're gonna do that, at least stick him into the storyline, which is kind of in there because he doesn't like CM Punk.
You know why Seth?
And he's got a little rivalry with Drew.
You know why Seth is in there, right?
Because referees are scared, apparently.
No, inevitably, this is the reason, right? This is why Seth's been interjected into this clusterfuck of whatever is going on, right? There is Drew McIntyre on one end, CM Punk the other end. Both of them are feuded. Both of them have already had their eye on the World Heavyweight Championship, and Seth is the former World Heavyweight Champion, right? He lost it to Drew, which is why there's something there, right? Because of that, Priest cashed in on Drew because of Punk. So this whole thing, after all this is done, is going to go back to the World Heavyweight Championship. And now, at this point, do you remember last week we were discussing it, and I was like, there's 5 guys now involved in this World Heavyweight Championship. Well, we might as well add Gunther into it as well. So there's 6 guys now involved in this World Heavyweight Championship, and 3 of them over here are having a bloody lover's tiff. That's what's going on. I think the entire thing is just terrible. Everything about it. I think it's dragged on for too long now. I'm bored.
Can I just make a comical point? Please bring that graphic up.
Yeah.
Look at how they're holding CM Punk's legs. You're not even holding him. You've got one person is holding his leg, and the referee's just got his hand on it.
Do you know where we've seen this before, guys?
Go on.
I've got an idea, but I'll go and tell me.
I've got an idea.
Have a wild guess. I want you to give me your wild guesses. Where do you think we've seen this kind of lovers tiff triangle before?
Would it by any chance be one of my favourite wrestlers?
Who? Which one?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Nothing to do with Cody? Nope.
You sure? Wow, okay.
Yep. Deeks?
I'm gonna say Triple H.
Nope. Is this not the same story?
I forgot about that.
Shit! Yeah,
Is this
I
not the
forgot
same
about-
story?
It's the
I forgot
same
about
story.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wade
Exactly.
Barrett and Punk and Cena. Yeah, of course.
Do you
It
remember
was
this?
a great moment.
Or hang on. We can even go further back, and we can
Oh,
have Wade
no.
Barrett, Randy Orton, and John Cena.
Oh no!
Like it's the same story.
Yeah, it's true.
There's no
It
difference.
is
Just
true.
3 different guys. Actually, 2 different guys because Punk's in one of them.
Punk's always in the middle of something.
Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
The only person that looks literally ready to rip someone's face on in that graphic is Punk. Drew staring a hole through Seth and Punk staring a hole through both of them.
It's just annoying, man. Right, let's get on to something that is
I
great.
look
and something
forward to seeing it.
Let's get on to something that is great. Right, we're finally seeing some more of the Wyatt. Obviously, there's the 4 of them there, and obviously Uncle Howdy there, delivering, must I say, a beautiful Sister Abigail to Chad
Yes.
Gable. The joy, I feel like the joy right here on Howdy's face is, I think it's like this is for Bray. You know, like I just feel like there's something about it. I love the fact that it's happening. It's been a very slow burn. Obviously, we found out all the stories now. I think have we found out every story about the Wyatt 6?
No, there's still 2 to go.
It's just who's left? Joe Gacy, isn't it? And
Yeah, Joe, the one on the left and one on the right. I haven't told you yet.
Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. We've got 2 more stories. I love the idea of what's going on. Obviously, before we can discuss this, we need to bring up the Chad Gable stuff. So, what's your thoughts on this Chad Gable Wyatt 6? The whole thing of them bringing in Chad Gable, obviously being deserted by, well, originally he refused to work with the Alpha Academy and he rejected them and was basically pushing them out, which is why Uncle Howdy's lot, the Wyatt 6, seems like they've attacked him. But now, obviously, we've got some other stuff going on with the 2 brothers. What are they called? I always forget their name. Anyone?
Diamond, not Diamond Mind.
Did you say Dynamite?
Diamond Mind's their old NXT name.
The Creed brothers.
Creed, is it?
I always go to call them Brood brothers, and I was like, it's not that. But yeah, so obviously we've got that. Are you liking this entire Wyatt 6, Uncle Howdy, Chad Gable, Alpha Academy, the Creed brothers, all this kind of stuff? Do you feel like we're finally now getting somewhere, or do you think there's still stuff to be told? Are we going to get something at SummerSlam, or do you think later?
Later, I'm going to say. I reckon we've got one more main event. We've got one more. We've got at least 4 more videos to come out yet, I reckon, and then we get the clash of Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable. Pay-per-view, I can see.
Okay, that's fair enough. Shades, real quick.
I completely love where the Wyatt 6 are going. I love what they're doing. The torture of Chad Gable fits in well after he tortured Alpha Academy. What I will say is, though, if you bring up the Wyatt 6 graphic,
this one,
yep, they look like badasses, man. Like, what else? There's no other way to describe them. I love I love the help hammer.
Yeah, obviously, I feel like there's a lot of story to be told about what's going on with the Wyatt 6 lot.
There is one comment I'll make about Uncle Howdy, though.
Yeah, go for it.
I think he needs some tattoos on his arms.
No, the idea of Uncle Howdy being pure, for me, makes so much more sense. Because if you cover him up with stuff, right, then there's something there. The idea of Uncle Howdy not having a tattoos where Bray did, right? Uncle Howdy not having a tattoos is like there's an element of truth and pureness. Uncle Howdy brings people in, he brings them together. So bringing in people in together makes them clean. It's cleaning them up. So having tattoos defeats the object of that. In my opinion.
I can see that. Now, in my opinion on the SummerSlam thing,
Yeah.
I think something will happen. Now, I don't think it will be a match because obviously it's too kind of a bit late for that. But I think there'll be some Wyatt 6 shenanigans.
Right.
But I will agree with Deeks. I think the next PLE will see something massive, but I think we will definitely see them at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll find out. Something else that we haven't, well, we might not see at SummerSlam. Obviously, it's not official yet. But we've got the Sheamus, Pete Dunne, Bronson Reed rivalry kind of going on. Man, I'm enjoying this. Like, it's nice to see. But it's just weird. Like, 1 minute Bronson Reed was kind of in the IC thing. Like, for some reason, he seems to be lost in these like triple threat feud kind of things. Obviously, we know Pete Dunne is feuding with Sheamus. I find it really weird because it was only like this time last year that he was Butch and they were putting on banger after banger after banger. Sheamus looks great, by the way. Like, he's in incredible shape. People were mocking him when he first came back. He's really, really put the work in to make himself, look put into a great like physical like tribute as he normally is. Man, I'm liking it. I'm interested to see where this feud goes. I will say the thing that I want to come out of it is Bronson Reed to be victorious. I really like Bronson Reed. Obviously that's a little spoiler if there is a prediction or something, but yeah, no, I really like Bronson Reed.
Thing is, this triple threat you're pointing down as it doesn't need Bronson Reed. An element in it of Bronson Reed is in there by accident. This feud is between Pete Dunne and Sheamus, not between.
Yeah, he kind of got caught in a crossfire, didn't he?
Got caught by accident in the middle of it. And this goes back to when Pete Dunne was, as you said, was Butch. That when he was part of Braun and Brutes. When Sheamus got injured and disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to all that time. That's like what, 6 months ago?
Probably.
Maybe longer. So Butch, aka Pete Dunne, been festering anger towards Sheamus for that long. For saying it happened to him, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I'll see that. Shades, what's your thoughts on this? Like, do you like this crossfire thing with Bronson?
I do. I like it a lot. What I will say is it's about time that Bronson Reed got some momentum behind him. He needs this. And I agree with you, he needs to win. Right? He needs to come out on top of these two. Sheamus is fine. The other guy is fine. Bronson needs something now. We've said this in past streams. Like, Bronson needs to go to the next level. And this is the way for him to do it without harming the other two too much. It's not going to hurt the other two if Bronson goes over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if the other two go over, I would say if anyone is weird, like Sheamus goes over, I would say it's natural. If Pete Dunne goes over, that'd be good for him. Bronson Reed kind of hasn't gone over. Like, there's been times where he's been in matches, he's got the win, but then he still looked like the third place, like he's getting a bronze medal as opposed to getting a gold medal, in terms of like the Intercontinental thing. Like, he beat Sami Zayn. He made a fact of that he'd beat Sami Zayn before. He's also beat Chad Gable, yet he wasn't involved in the match, And I just feel like Bronson Reed's always that person. He's that third person that he's there in a match. He does loads in the match to look good. And he either eats the victory or he comes like second place. Like, he just doesn't win it. So
I think we can all agree that it's his time. He's done enough for other people. He needs to go up now.
I hope so. I would like to think that. There's a lot of big guys, should I say, on the roster. Ivar, it was obviously is another one. Viking Raiders, bro. Them guys are just insanely talented, and they shouldn't be doing the level of athleticism that they produce on a weekly basis. I'm not taking away from like people like Pete Dunne, Bronson, or Sheamus or anything like that. But these bigger guys come like not all the time. Like a real athletic guy, like Bronson Reed, Ivar, Keith Lee, for example. They come one a dozen, and only sometimes do they really get over. And it's taken a lot for Bronson Reed. Obviously, he's gone. He's come back again because you got released, so he's come back. He's still hanging in there, but I would like to see him actually get a victory from something, gain some momentum. You know, just I don't know. I just like him. Like when we were there, when we got to see him last year, when we see the WWE live, he was so good. I think it was Nakamura he faced.
Yeah,
yeah, so good. Obviously, Nakamura is the fan favorite at this point. Obviously, Bronson Reed is the heel. But man, Bronson is mega talented. I can't wait to see him actually get something that he deserves. You know, like he's put the work in. Let's see him get a reward. Anyone want to like elaborate for that?
I get your point. It needs a reward, but as I said at the start of this part, Bronson Reed's stuck in the middle of this battle by accident. He shouldn't really be there.
Yeah, but it's a good place for him to be though, because he'd rather be stuck in the middle of something than do nothing. You know, so he may have been in the crossfire, but if he gets the better of both guys, he's like, well, don't involve me in your problem. So
that's
on Bronson's side.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Don't involve me. Don't involve me in your stuff. Yeah.
So all right. So that was Raw. All right. I really enjoyed Raw. It was really good. There's only a little bit to cover on NXT. Obviously, I know there's something you want to talk about, so we'll do that last. Excuse me, by the way. I do still have a cough. I'm getting over this death, whatever it is. Man, this match here, Sol Ruca and Karmen Petrovic versus Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend was so good. So good. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorite modern women's matches in NXT. Obviously, there's been quite a few. We don't really get a lot of women's tag matches, if you know what I mean. They're kind of like they come one a dozen, you know. We don't get them all the time, and if we do, they don't always get a lot of time. It's more or less on the main roster. On NXT, we kind of get it a lot less, but then they allow the women to kind of do one-on-ones and give them some time to shine and stuff like that. But yeah, this match was great, man. Sol Ruca looks like an absolute megastar. Karmen Petrovic again looking like a megastar, and then Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend also looking like megastars. Like, yes, there was a loss in the match, but all four of them come out as winners because the spectacle they put on was incredible. Like, I love this match. Deeks, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was a great match, and I'm quite Sheamus here, and saying this match was an absolute banger and a banger and a banger. It's a great match. The girls pulled out an absolute storm of a match. They absolutely ripped each other apart, in and out of the ring, putting off some of the movers I haven't seen before. It was a great match, and hats off to the girls. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, Jade, what are your thoughts on it?
Mate, what can I say other than what Deeks has said? What a match. What two very talented superstars. Honestly. NXT has some of the most talented wrestlers in the world. Without going into the next part, it just doesn't get much better.
I mean, they were great. I really enjoyed this.
All four of these girls, in my eyes, are definitely main card material. Definitely. In the next 2 or 3 years, definitely.
The problem is this, right? And I say this, and not just about WWE, I'd also say about AEW. When they've got such a stacked roster, there's only the idea is this, right? When you have a really good packed roster and you bring someone new in, someone has to step aside and get kind of lowered down the card while this new person comes in. I understand that, right? We know that from us spectating it, right?
Yeah.
However, let's say, for example, you bring up Sol Ruca next. Who does she take? Whose position does she take? Because then, if, for example, let's say, she doesn't take someone's position, she just gets a spot on the card. Okay, so where do we get this additional time from this card? Where'd you get an additional 10 minutes from? What, does Raw or Smackdown then become 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours? Like, there's not enough time. So someone has to lose out on time for the next person to come up. And I say this respectfully, if they were to just to do an all women's weekly show, and I hate saying this, if they were to do that, I think it would get a buzz for a couple of weeks, then fizzle out. The same thing happened with 205 Live.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating as well, because them guys are insanely talented that was on that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And so what do you do? So if someone goes up, someone has to step aside. Who right now would you say they're not doing much, they can step aside? Like,
But on the flip side of this, these four girls in this match are all very young.
They are.
And the current WWE female roster on Raw and SmackDown are getting slowly older. As girls start to leave in the older bracket to start families or have kids or vice versa, these girls can come in to fill their gaps.
Yeah, I would say like let's say for example in the next 3-4 years, the people that could potentially step aside, slow down, something like that. Charlotte Flair. If Becky Lynch resigns, it could be Becky Lynch. Nia Jax, for example, that could be another one. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's women there that have been there for X amount
10,
of time where
15
they can
years.
kind of start unwinding and kind of
Bailey, another one.
Bailey, I mean, I was saying, how old is Bailey? I don't actually know.
She's in her 30s at least, early 30s, maybe mid 30s.
35.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's got like, I'm not saying she's only got like 3 more years, but do you know what I mean? Like, whereas Charlotte's 38.
Yeah.
You know, but in saying that, Damian Priest is in his 40s. Chris Jericho's still wrestling and he's in like his 50s. So it depends on their body and how much time they can go. But if they start winding down, the thing is with women, because they give birth and they want to have babies, like there's a difference. It's 9 months.
That's my point. Yeah.
Because they take 9 months off, obviously while they're pregnant. Then let's say, for example, it's like another 9 months to get themselves. And I think they say like another 9 months to get themselves back to
fighting shape.
Like to like shape of where they're comfortable. See, I think they say 9 months to grow, 9 months to shrink, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my wife is still in a position where she's like, I mean, our son's like nearly a year and a half, and she's like, I still don't feel like I'm in good shape. Some people naturally have that ability, and some people don't. Obviously, with wrestlers, it's different because they're on the grind every single day. You know, they work, they do cardio, but their job is different. Obviously, a 9-to-5 job is completely different. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think with women, they slow down after they've had children because obviously they want to spend as much time as they can with their families. And I respect that. I want to do the same. Shade, you want to do the same, obviously, with your family. You know, so it's finding that balance. And I think with men, it's different because they can go out and do this. Women, it's different, as you said, obviously the pregnancy and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, so, that's the point I was putting across. With the girls and the current roster getting slowly older, they're going to want to slow down, maybe leave, start their families, and so on.
Honestly,
these younger girls that are in NXT right now can come in and fill their spots.
Yeah, so I
not being nasty to the current girls and SmackDown and Raw. They're amazing talents themselves, but they are slowly getting older and they're getting in that area where I want a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
I want my own daughter or son to take my genetics of built WWE or NXT or any other brand in the world. I want my son or daughter to do the next stage for me.
Yeah,
as we see in that moment with Cody Rhodes, his father.
100%. I was going to say, like Bianca Belair and Montez Ford on their show. I can't remember what it was called. It was like a Mr. and Mrs. kind of thing, like a weekly show. I think they done like a 6 to 7 episode show or something like that.
I think on about
this Ford.
Yeah, and and they were literally discussing about settling down, having a family, and things like that. You know, so obviously that stuff does come into a wrestler's mind, mind frame, and things. So yeah, so like, I'm gonna say like it's an interesting like topic, and obviously and things like that, and where we go. But yeah, look, this next breed of women are coming through from NXT. I can't wait for them to come up, but I just want to see them booked. How they're being booked here. If you're going to book them to have a 53-second match, keep them in NXT.
Let me give an example here, a personal example. So these guys are on the road, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
They're always moving, either in the gym or in the cars, training it where their show is. You know, getting in the ring, doing their ring training, running the ropes, doing their drills. Now, from my perspective, how it was for me, I was working 7 nights a week, 12 hours a night.
Yeah.
The second my boy was born, I dropped down to part time.
So you can spend time with
Because I
family.
wanted to be family.
Yeah.
I dropped down enough that I could support the family and still do what I wanted to do.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And it's the same for these guys. Like, when we've seen it before. You know, they have a kid, they take time off, they come back, but then they kind of come back in a way where they're not there as much as they was before they had their child.
Yeah.
Because they still want to be. They still want to, like, let's use Becky Lynch for example. You know, she still wants to be Becky Lynch, but then she also wants to be Becky Lynch, the mum.
Yeah, Rebecca Quinn. Yeah, I get it. I know what
You
you
know,
mean. It's exactly.
it's like Shades. Shades wants to be working. Back in the day, let's go back nearly 6 years. Shades went from 7 nights to I have a kid. This is cool. I want to be a dad now. Right. I need to half this and be a dad.
Exactly.
You know, went from 7 to 4.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you giving numbers and counts kind of reminds me of something else. Ethan Page got quick counted again by Oro Mensah. This is the second time now. I'm loving this. Do you know what? I would say never, ever give Ethan Page the 24/7 title because he would have lost it twice. That's the mate. What is going on? Oro Mensah is
mental.
Destroying him.
Oro Mensah's all over Ethan Page like a rash. He's pinned him twice, not in matches, in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we know how quick. 3 seconds. That's all it takes. And you've seen that.
He's hit him with finishers twice in 2 weeks on a jump, pinned him twice, once by his own account and once by referee account in 2 weeks. This is going to be a great match, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, exactly that. Shades, what's your thoughts on this? Are you liking this? It's a really weird build, isn't it?
It's madness. It's mental. It's crazy. It's great. Again, it's NXT. NXT also stands for this is probably the best show going. Every single week it seems to get better and better and better and better. It's just like, look at... Great picture, by the way.
It is great. I like it. Is that the 2 fingers for the second time? Do you think if he does it again, we'll get 3 fingers for the third time?
Yeah, probably.
This is so great.
But going back to saying this is weird, it's not actually weird because Oro Mensah was attacked by a Page before Page debuted.
That is true, yeah.
So this is building for nearly 2 months.
Yeah, I think that's a good time frame as well because it's something happened. Then obviously Ethan Page done something else. He's now the champion, and then all of a sudden, the person that he feuded with at the beginning has now come back for his revenge. I think it's simple but effective booking, and it's interesting. Like the quick count, and then I love the ref scurrying away like he knew he done wrong.
Yeah,
you know,
the ref reaction was amazing.
Yeah. Really,
he's standing there. 1, 2, 3, and it runs off. I love it.
Yeah, of course.
The referee running away like Roadrunner.
Yeah, it was
good. It was good.
What I will say to any of our fans watching, if you do not watch NXT, you are missing out.
NXT is a good show.
Watch one episode and you will hear just how loud the crowd are to even be there, to be watching it. It is mental.
It's good, man.
Yeah, NXT right now is probably one of or the hottest wrestling show going on any network around the world, I would say. He's absolutely hot as anything right now. He's absolutely on fire right now.
100%.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. And that doesn't take away from other shows, though. So bear in mind, obviously, we have said on this podcast before, and I'll continue to say it again and again and again. This is an unbiased show. We may feel like Deeks, for example, might prefer NXT to AEW, but then he also prefers NXT to Raw and SmackDown. Shades might prefer SmackDown to something else, and I might prefer something to something else. But when it comes to us discussing it, there's not an unbiasedness at all. Like, we talk about every single positivity that we physically can, and we try to bring each show the right amount of momentum and time that it's given. And I think the fact that we're getting wrestling weekly, we are so spoiled. So, you know, like, as I said, we ain't got time for this, like, tribalism bullshit. Like, if that's what you want to do, then do that somewhere else. It's not I tell you what, though, speaking of things that are crossing over, TNA and NXT, mate, this match here, so last week, Deke was like, oh, I've just seen match of the year, in my opinion. Today, he's now saying, I've just seen match of the year again. So, that's two.
NXT's on fire.
I can't help it. These boys that have reunited this past month are pulling out. I'm going to quote it again. The great Irish man himself, Sheamus is lying. Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. The Rascalz are putting out bangers every week. It's amazing to watch.
You're getting hyped. Yeah. It's good, man.
Sorry.
They are very good. Would you say this match was better than the one they had at TNA, Slammiversary?
Yeah. I will say it's better. The pace, the moveset, the speed that these boys are moving at, it was absolutely amazing. It's not half the time, if you blink, you're missing something.
Yeah. 100%.
It was
very
full of action, speed galore all over the ringside and the arena and in the ring. The crowd were going berserk for the whole entire match. I was going berserk through this match. I was up and down like a yo-yo in this match. It was amazing. I enjoyed it so much. I class it again a new match of the year candidate.
That's valid. Is that just in WWE or is that
in WWE currently right now?
Okay. I was going to say, because obviously there's matches outside of WWE that are also matches of the year talent. Obviously, one of them being Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey. That happened at TNA beginning of the year. But yeah, so all right, look, let's get to Shades. I'm assuming that you really enjoyed this match.
100%. Just everything Deeks just said is what I'll give my opinion on. 100%. Just everything Deeks said. Yes, I agree 1,000,000%. Now, just let me emphasize on something real quick. Put the graphic up, please.
There we go.
This is so good that the ref is happy to be reffing the match.
Yeah.
He's just watching it. He loves it.
Can I just say, can we just look at Booker T's reaction here on the bottom right corner?
Yeah, he's on his feet. He's
gobsmacked.
Oh my God.
Gobsmacked.
Jaw-dropping greatness of NXT.
Good, man. It's so good. I will say, by the way, right, Deeks, I know you kind of dip in and dip out of like other wrestling shows. Like, your main thing's NXT. You cover more WWE based, obviously, because you're a WWE fan, right?
I'm a WWE follower, unfortunately, for years.
If you like this style of matches, right, honestly, you just switching into AEW to see like a couple matches, your mind is going to be opened up to a whole new world of stuff. Obviously, I know you've seen stuff from AEW, and obviously I feel you in loosely, and you kind of watch some clips and things like that, and you try and catch up. But you're still relatively new to like the AEW bubble. But mate,
I'm very new to AEW bubble.
Honestly,
very new.
If you think this caliber of matches that you're seeing now on NXT is insane, wait till you start watching more of AEW. Oh my God, your eyes are just going to be popping. Like,
at the moment in my current lifestyle, guys, I'm struggling to keep up with 4 shows and I'm 5. So yeah.
if this is a way to get you to watch it, the only way I can describe NXT and AEW is with one great word: damn.
Yeah, they're good, man. Blood and Guts was so good. Obviously, we're going to talk about Blood and Guts in a little bit.
So yeah, I've got barely any time, guys, in my life to watch 5 shows. I'm trying to watch 4 at the moment. So yeah,
that's valid. That's valid. I will say, let's get on to SmackDown then. I'll be honest, guys. I felt kind of how would I put it? I felt like SmackDown didn't deliver that well this week. Is it me or does SmackDown seem to a bit like a bit of a plateau in terms of show, like performance?
Yeah, it was a bit of a quiet one. This one it wasn't their best show to put out in the last couple of weeks. It was a quiet one.
Hey now.
No. I will say it's a good show. I enjoyed it.
It's still a good show. It was just a steady, quiet one. You know, like the guys are getting like a nice slow weekend ready for next Saturday.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna spike up and go absolute ham again, and then down again.
SmackDown was great.
I know it wasn't a bad show. The show was great. It was a good show, but it just wasn't that extra pep they needed in a step. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The SmackDown was that great. Logan Paul appeared.
We'll get into
wow,
that. Don't worry.
2-2. Give him a clap.
Let's Let's get on to that quickly. So obviously LA Knight versus what was I going to say? We had LA Knight. The main thing we're going to talk about is obviously Logan Paul, right? But did you like the LA Knight match?
It was a great match. I really enjoyed watching the match.
Yeah,
great spots in the match. I think LA Knight, both of them did a really good job. Not doing too much. It was a clean match.
I mean, Escobar really good. Like,
Seth Bar and LA Knight was a really good match. It was good. It filled in the storyline nicely between LA Knight and Logan Paul nicely.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked we see Logan Paul twice in 2 weeks.
Probably had a
good breaking
like last month. But yeah, this was a good match. I love the fact that LA Knight thought he was going to get the better of Logan Paul until obviously that didn't happen, and that was the case. What do you feel like? We're in this feud and it's actually cooking, slowly cooking. It's still on a rolling boil at the moment. Do you think he's really going to heat up before SummerSlam? They've only got one more week.
I can see on Friday a very, very steamed up LA Knight coming to ringside and having a verbal go at Logan Paul, and even though Logan Paul ain't gonna be there.
Verbal?
Yeah.
I think it'll be all guns blazing. I think
Logan will be there. I think that a bomb is gonna go off in that ring. There won't be no time for talking. It'll be fists flying, and we'll see all the referees and security guards and everyone in a suit that's backstage. Someone's going to stop eating their dinner and catering, run down and try and separate these two, like John Cena and Brock Lesnar back in the day.
Thing is, I don't see that because Logan Paul hasn't got cojones. Stating The Rock back in the day, cojones.
Yeah.
He hasn't got cojones to stand and slug it out with LA Knight. He will run away.
Well, they started slugging it out a little bit on SmackDown.
And then leg it. Yeah, but he started slogging it out then because he knew he had backup in the ring.
Yeah.
Logan Paul will not stand there one-on-one and have a fist fight with somebody. He'll run away.
Speaking of Logan Paul.
What about him?
And it's A-Town Down Under.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Are you going to have to make me jump down my list of stuff? Go on, go for it.
What is going on here?
In terms of what?
With Logan, because you got Logan Paul and LA Knight.
Yeah.
And now you've got Logan Paul and A-Town Down Under.
Yeah.
And you've got A-Town, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but on SmackDown, you know the
knockout, of course that was intentional, yeah.
The prime hydration stand.
Yeah.
They went over. Whether it was an intentional thing or not, they staggered over and pushed the main, the main big prime bottle over.
Mm.
Now, whether that's a dig at Logan or it was an unintentional thing, that's like, there's just maybe a bit of mind games there from A-Town.
I don't know. It could be,
But
but they were on the same page at WrestleMania. They were his lackeys at Mania.
The thing is, boys, yeah, it's just like Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. Now you've got Logan Paul, LA Knight, and A-Town Down Under.
Yeah.
You know what is going on? Is it Logan Paul and LA Knight, or is it this sheer cluster rubbish of A-Town Down Under, Logan Paul, LA Knight? Who's might as well just throw in Escobar in there. Let's just pile them all in. We've got a great rivalry of LA Knight and Logan Paul. All right, Logan Paul is as part-time as a person that works the camera 1 hour a night.
Mm-hmm.
He's not there. We've said he needs to be there, and we've already said in the past he needs to be there more. But now you've got A-Town, you've got Logan, you've got LA Knight. What? Just right? Maybe one of you guys, can come and tell me what is this with Logan Paul and LA Knight, because I just don't get it.
I don't know. I think you're looking too much into something.
And then I don't get the Logan Paul and A-Town. I understand Logan Paul and LA Knight more.
Yeah,
but it's just
there a narrative?
It just seems to be changing too much.
Is there a narrative for Logan Paul and A-Town Down Under?
No, I don't think there is. I think our boy Shades here is getting his wires crossed a little bit. I think.
Like, I haven't seen anything with Logan Paul and A-Town Down Under as a feud.
Group. Yeah.
I don't see it as a feud.
It's not a group.
But
it's just.
Then what the hell are you talking about?
I don't see it as a feud. Right. The feud that we have is LA Knight, Logan Paul. Yeah, right. For some reason, A-Town Down Under have interjected themselves only in the Logan Paul side.
What do you mean about that? What do you mean interjecting themselves in that Logan Paul side? To do what?
Yeah, like, let's look at past Smackdowns when it's almost like
as in they're helping him, or they're trying to not help him?
Not help him. It's more like teasing him.
Since when?
What have you watched that we haven't watched? I'm not seeing this.
Even Deeks, even you said on a past show that A-Town just like to cause chaos.
Yeah, but that was to do with that was actually happening at that time. I'm now confused, mate. I'm sorry. You've blown
proper lost me.
It's out of proportion.
I have no idea what you're on about.
Oh, come on, boys.
That is 2-1 that you're just talking gibberish. Like, tell me at what point of A-Town Down Under mocked Logan? Like, what is it you're talking about?
This is the thing. That's why I was hoping you could tell me, because you see it on SmackDown, you see it on previous weeks. That it's not a full rivalry. It's more like they're just trying to cause a bit of chaos with Logan.
I don't see him, mate.
Watch some highlights and then we can come back to this.
Bro, I'm literally Googling it now, and there is nothing.
There is no rivalry growing between
A-Town Down Under.
Rivalry.
Yeah. Whatever it was with A-Town Down Under, right, and Logan Paul, they were his lackeys at WrestleMania.
As far as I'm aware, Logan Paul and A-Town Down Under are buddies. As far as I'm aware.
That's exactly how I see it.
We're at a difference of opinion. I don't see them as buddies.
We don't see what you're talking about.
I think you're seeing things that we're not seeing because your brain was differently to ours.
So you could say that again. Did anything happen with A-Town Down Under and Logan Paul when you're saying they were mocking them this week?
Let me refer back to the notes real quick.
I know what he's on about. It's on about when one half of A-Town Down Under got knocked out in the call out.
Terence Crawford, yes.
Yeah. When he got out of the ring, he stumbled into the prime hydration station and knocked over the big bottle. That's what he's on about.
He just got knocked out, bro.
Yeah, that's what he's on about. He's trying to say that's a sign.
There's nothing.
That's teasing.
No, and then there's been previous weeks. You boys probably don't remember, but A-Town coming in on Logan Paul.
What do you mean by that? Be more specific.
Yeah.
Saying that they're better than Logan Paul.
Have they said that?
Everyone thinks that in WWE because Logan Paul's barely there.
But have they said?
I think that. I'm not a wrestler, and I think that.
I think that, and you know me. It's just a bit of madness, and I'm enjoying it.
I think you're looking for something that actually isn't there. The stumble into the prime bottle is nothing.
Yeah, it's just your brain's playing games with you, mate. That's what it is. You're seeing things that are going on. Yes. Anyway,
I am looking forward to seeing this match.
I'm still at a loss of what you're trying to say.
Never mind. Move on.
No, I'm so baffed.
Ah,
I'll explain to you off air, mate. Don't worry. Keep going.
In my opinion, what I get from this, right, is what you're saying, Shades. You're looking at the wrong thing because I've just gone back and watched the footage, right? Austin Theory stands there, right, and he gets pushed into that. Like he gets kind of guided into that prime bottle. So I would say the feud is there that they're going to split up. Like Grayson Waller guides Austin Theory into that prime bottle. So the thing that you may be seeing got nothing to do with Logan Paul. It's to do with them two breaking up. They're no longer the tag title champ. They're no longer the tag team champions.
They weren't put in a match this week. They should. I think they should have been put in.
So I think you're looking at the wrong narrative.
Yeah,
But
I can see that.
Anyway, let's get on to something that is really, really interesting. We're finally getting it. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn? I always say her name.
Yeah. Isla Dawn, yeah.
Guys, you got to remember, as Deke said, obviously Alba and Isla are going on next week to face Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, right, at NXT?
Yes, they are. Apparently so. I've seen and heard.
So it could be interesting that Bianca and Belair, it could be Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend instead of Fyre and Dawn. So that
at the moment, it's been booked as Isla Dawn versus them guys. So yeah,
of course.
It's a risky week for the tag champions.
It could be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against seeing all six, like all them as a six, going at it as a triple threat tag match. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not really much to talk about on that. It was obviously the fact that they got jumped.
It was a great spot.
It was a good time.
I'll quote Punk McAfee. Yeah, with Bianca Belair and Jade in heels too.
Yeah, exactly that. Look, I really enjoyed this. I'm annoyed though, and then the booking coming off from last week's, like the 53-second match. I just feel like the women aren't getting used to their full ability here. Hopefully, from now it goes forward, and then we get to see a little bit more. But for a while, they weren't being used to their full potential.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this week coming up, mate. The match is gonna be longer than 59 seconds, mate.
I hope so, bro. I hope so.
I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to seeing where it's going.
I tell you what, though, I do want to talk about another woman that's right up there at the moment, man. She is putting some work into the wrestling. and that's Michin. Oh my days! She is on, like, she's just on a roll, man. Like, she's weekly working her arse off and becoming such a great talent. Like, not that she wasn't a good talent before, but she's making a name for herself in a nice way at the moment. Like, weekly, she's being shown weekly. You know, NXT, she's dropped down, she's done her stuff, she's come back up again. She's obviously running around on SmackDown. Looks good. Looks really, really, really good. And I'm all for it, man. It would be nice to see Michin actually get, again, a little bit of praise and see her actually get somewhere. So if she was to get interjected into the title feud, I'm not against that. Do you know what I'd like to see? Her have a match with Tiffany Stratton, maybe even for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think that would be interesting as well, because that would be such a good thing for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michin right now is burning the can at both ends. She's appearing on SmackDown and NXT every week for the last 3-4 weeks. She's a busy woman.
Yeah, and she's not stopping, man. She looks really good.
No, she ain't stopping. She's going. She's a busy woman. She's doing both. She's burning the can at both ends, as I said. NXT is on Tuesday, and then on Friday she's catching up with the guys on SmackDown and forming on SmackDown, and then going back to NXT again. She's getting like 3 days break in between matches. She's on fire.
Yeah,
she's burning,
man.
She's working away, but
yeah, really good.
She does deserve a title shot somewhere. If it's NXT or SmackDown, she deserves a title shot.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Real great.
You know what? Even if it was to look at maybe like an NXT Women's North American.
Yeah.
You know, just something like, at some point, obviously, the title has to be lost and it has to be won by someone else. And I think Michin being the next person to take that would be great. Because let's say, for example, she does take it, right? And then let's say Karmen Petrovic is the next person to take over from her, yeah?
Yeah.
So we have Michin take it. If let's say she carries on doing double duty, doing the NXT and then going on SmackDown, she then takes the North American Women's Championship onto SmackDown. It gets a little bit of time on that TV time there. People are going to want to go back and see her defend it, or she gets some more eyes back on NXT. And then whoever she drops that to, it gives them a little rub before she moves on to SmackDown again. Like, it's a nice way to kind of, one, put the title over if it were to do that. It puts over the next person, and Michin gets her reward before staying on SmackDown. Like, I'd like to see that happen. I'm not saying it has to be that title, but it's a good way to do it.
And again, going back to what we said earlier on in the show, Michin isn't a young lady. She's in her 30s as well.
How old is she? I actually don't even know.
She's got to be mid-30s, that girl. She's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, mate. Bang on 35.
Yeah.
So
she's not young. She's been around the block a few times in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
You know, she's been in WWE, what, 10 years or more?
Yeah, I would say, though, to be honest, I like the name Michin, but I do prefer it as Mia Yim. I'll be honest. I prefer it. Yeah. But, hey, that is, that's not our hill to die on. But I'm all for it. I'm really enjoying
I would love to see her as the North American Women's Champion. I'd love to see that.
It'll be interesting. Would be great.
Especially her appearing on SmackDown and NXT. It'd be nice because that title will get going.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. And that title is beautiful as well, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really nice. All right, so who we're going on to next? Let's get on to
we're on the we was on the Tiffany Stratton thing anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'll go back. Go for it.
Me quoting something here. That poor Money in the Bank briefcase.
What's your thoughts on
It's got pink tape, green tape. My days, the state of it.
Hey, look. It's not about the briefcase. It's about what's inside that briefcase that counts.
I know, but at some point you have to feel sorry for the briefcase.
No, I don't. Not at all.
I'm not fussed.
What do you make of the chosen colours? Of the green and pink.
Pink, yeah. I don't know, man. It doesn't fit her. The pink definitely fits her style.
I don't know where the green come from.
I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I'm not sure what that green.
I think you use what the technical find backstage to fix it.
I think, yeah. Possible.
It's what the maintenance crew had in the toolbox.
Honestly, it does feel like that.
You know, if anyone wants to nick that contract, all you got to do, there ain't no lock on it now. Just pull the tape off.
Yeah.
So my question being, when do you think we're going to see Tiffany Stratton's briefcase? Is she going to get a custom one? Because we've gone from the one she had. Now we've got the first aid box. What next?
Yeah. I reckon it'll be like a bedazzled, pink and bedazzly kind of.
Yeah.
So do you boys think that we're going to have the first aid box for a couple of weeks while this new briefcase is still being designed or made?
I reckon it'll be in the next couple of weeks. I reckon we'll see it. Maybe
I reckon it'll be revealed after SummerSlam.
Then yes, I'm calling it the first aid box.
That's valid. But I think it will be after SummerSlam that we get it. But yeah, again, I don't mind that. I think it looks fine. Like I like the fact that it's being broken and then she's still carrying it around. Obviously, her hugging it as well is like as this thing of like I want a new one. Nia Jackson promised her she's going to get her a new one. So
she looks so sad when she hugged that, and that's Devon. It's so sad.
I tell you what though, let's go on to someone that doesn't look sad. Solo Sikoa, mate. This tag match, by the way, was so good. So I really enjoyed it. I feel like it could have gone longer. I like the elimination style of it. I feel like it could have gone like what, half hour, maybe 40 minutes. I don't actually know how long the match was.
I think it was about 45 minutes. I think it was altogether.
It was such a great gauntlet.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, easy.
It was about half an hour. Yeah. So it was just such a great match, a great gauntlet. When was the last time we had a tag gauntlet like that with that caliber? Every single team put work in that match, and it was great. It was so well done. Even the Street Profits, it was so nice. Like seeing how they got put over a little bit, how they gained a bit of momentum, eliminating. You know, I can't remember who they eliminated.
Which lot?
In the
Street Profits eliminated. What was her name? I can't remember her name now. Damn.
But it was just when the eliminations happened. It was just
about. Hang on, let me get the order of the gauntlet. That might help.
When the eliminations happened, it was just you didn't expect it. Kinda. It was great. And then the whole ending of the match was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we had.
It was,
sorry, one second. So we had Legado del Fantasma, Blindside, Corbin and Cruz.
Yep.
Corbin and Cruz won that one.
Fantasma, they lose. The Street Profits are in. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin then get eliminated. Then Pretty Deadly then got eliminated. In comes the OC. OC gets eliminated. And then the Bloodline come in, and obviously the Street Profits got eliminated.
So Street Profits took out 3 teams.
Yeah.
What? Do you see what I mean? It was nice to see the Street Profits get that that momentum. Finally, they got a bit of something. All right, they didn't win, but 3 eliminations. Brilliant. I just looked
at the match. 38 minutes and 35 seconds that went on. And it didn't feel like that. I felt like it went on. It was so quick.
It was so good. Time flew past.
It looked like it was a quick match, but actually wasn't a quick match. It was good match. I think each team got like 8-10 minutes per match.
About that. I would say to walk away from this. Obviously, we knew the minute the Bloodline were in it, and it was Jacob, Fatu, and Tama Tonga, which obviously I'm not against. I like the idea of that. The minute we knew the Bloodline were in, I think it was like kind of a definitive answer that okay, the Bloodline are winning this.
Yeah,
but who else is going to put on a spectacle? I really like the tag team of Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. I really like that.
I have a comment on that.
Hang on, Legado del Fantasma. Look, Angle and Berto, I'm not against them either. I think they're good. Pretty Deadly, we've seen
tons of time.
Like, yeah. Obviously, if you watch NXT, you know how good they are. The OC are they're still kind of getting lost in their shuffle. I feel like the OC could really do with something, but I don't know what. But the walkaway for me is the Street Profits actually eliminating a few teams and kind of getting like a nice rub before losing to the Bloodline. I'm just happy that the Street Profits are getting some attention because they are such a good team. And, mate, I don't want to see them become a nothing. You know, like the team's got so much potential.
But for me, WWE dropped the ball again.
On who?
Yeah. They could have made, as I call them, the shield line, which is not because it's a bloodline, but they dropped the ball in this. They should have put them in first, made them run the gauntlet, then the bloodline or shield line, I call them, would have looked much better and much more powerful as a unit.
See, I disagree. You said this just before, right? This is the reason why I feel like the bloodline should have been last. If they are that dominant, right, by them going in, it opens them up and it gives them a position whereas they could be susceptible to taking a loss. The bloodline don't want to take a loss. They want to be dominant. So what's the best thing to do? Go in last. Because by going in last, we're going to get the win. It just shows that they want to be dominant, but they are not as dominant as they think they can be. Otherwise, they would have gone first.
I think they should have gone in first and showed the dominance and go, look, we are this dominant.
If they would have gone in first,
through 5 other teams and show these second champions we currently got right now, who are the next challengers who are going to destroy them for the titles.
Yeah, but we know that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah,
so wouldn't you rather see the dominance in the match once they're in the tag match or the dominance before?
I'd rather myself see both.
Okay, right, Shade, what was you going to say?
If the bloodline went in first, then the Street Profits wouldn't have gained the momentum with 3 eliminations.
Exactly. That's the other side of it.
Yeah, that's. Unfortunately, I'm playing devil advocate. I'm saying what I would rather see, prefer to what the globe wants to see.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? If the bloodline did go in first, we see the dominance. We know how dominant they are. Now it's a question of well, who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? You're then putting them in a position whereas if they were indestructible and dominant throughout that entire match, when they go against DIY, you already know, well, they're going to win. So if they don't win, we'd be the first to go, oh, well, why didn't they win if they were so dominant last week? Like, do you know what I mean? There has to be a way to fix that. So by them going in last, they pick up the scraps, they make themselves look dominant, they don't have to work as hard as anyone else, and they look like they're ready. And then they put on a performance afterwards of how good they are as a bloodline. Then it builds up. Next week, they get the tag titles. For example, let's say they do. Like, there's a nice build to it. There's a momentum going. If they look too dominant too quick, then it kind of I think it kills their aura. Because the minute they've looked too dominant, they're going to be beaten. Like, if, and as Shade rightly said, the guys that got the rub were the Street Profits because they got the 3 eliminations in. So the Street Profits wouldn't have got elimination. So you could have put any old tag team in there. So like there would have been no point. You could have brought up 4 teams from NXT, and they still would have done the same thing. So I think them going last was, in my opinion, was the right decision because that way they kind of, they look like they just dismantle everything that's going on. I mean, for crying out loud, look at this. And obviously, also, what do you think of this eye patch?
Yeah, I think it's overkill.
Do you like it?
I think it's overkill for a little eye rake. Yeah, I think it's overkill.
Yeah, but they're selling the eye rake, and it's a good way to take out Tongaloa.
See, me myself, as if I was a WWE superstar, I would have said, screw it, take the airbrush off and go and get in the ring anyway.
Well, they said if he's dead, then he can't wrestle. That's where it was like, well, Jacob Fatu's going to take the thing then.
Yeah, but that's where that's me as part of that bloodline.
Yeah,
and he said that to me in front of me. I'd have gone. I said to him, "Screw it, top the eye patch off, top the band, the cover, and I'll leave it off." And gone, right, I'm ready to go.
No, but he said you're not allowed to wrestle because of your injury. So even if he was ready to go by taking it off, he still wasn't allowed to wrestle. He already stated that.
Yeah, but you've seen it loads times over the years in WWE. Wrestlers sign waivers.
But you've got to remember, right? That eye patch is there for one reason and one reason only. It was because of Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So there's a reminder of this is what Kevin Owens done to us, which is why I really like it. And Kevin Owens is now going to be the reason. Put it this way: imagine if Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga are the ones that win the tag titles, right? Would you think Tama would rather win with Jacob Fatu or win with his brother?
I'd say with his brother. If I win,
Right.
win with
Kevin Owens will then be the reason that he doesn't win the tag titles. His first titles in WWE it'll be the reason because of Kevin Owens' injury. So it's a reason to go after Kevin Owens again. Like there's deeper story there. You know?
Yeah, I see your point of view. I see your point of view. Makes sense.
All right, let's get into obviously.
I have one comment on this match.
Yeah, go for it.
So, one of the highlights for me was Baron Corbin's end of days. Probably one of the best end of days I've seen him do. It was great. It was such a great finish.
I like the fact that it was protected for so long. Then it finally got kicked out of, and I thought, okay, now it's been kicked out of. He's going to get something for it. The fact that the end of days got kicked out. Normally, if something like that, if you protect your finish for so long, something's going to come after that. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Obviously,
and one final comment on the eye patch. Now, you guys have said your reasons. I see a different reason. Now, I see this comparison. I prefer the old bloodline. So I see this eye patch representing something else. Pirate DVDs, Pirate Bloodline.
It's kind of.
I prefer the Roman Reigns bloodline. This is a Pirate Bloodline, and Roman will come back and sort this whole mess out.
I'll be controversial here, and I know you guys are going to disagree with me, but we've seen Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and kind of Solo. Like let's take out Solo. Roman, Jimmy, and Jay, obviously they were the original bloodline, right? We'd seen them. We know what Roman's done as a group, as the faction, obviously with the Shield and stuff like that. We've never seen a team that's so like this, that's taken over something as great as a 4. Obviously, we've had teams kind of come in and try and take over a show. But doing it well and efficiently, and actually people will shit on this at the beginning. Solo is a fantastic leader. And I still don't think that he is the final tribal, like the orders of the tribal chief. I don't think he's the final tribal chief. I think there's more to it. But I would honestly say, and I know this is controversial, and I know you're going to agree with me, but I actually think I prefer this bloodline to the original. Because there's no one here that's one head leader. Roman was the leader of Bloodline. Granted, Solo is the leader here, but if we got rid of Solo, Jacob Fatu could take his position. Like, there's a level there, you know? And I really like that. Like, he has a right-hand man. He has an animal. He has an enforcer. Like, it's everything how it needs to be. I think this is the perfect version of the Bloodline. I think this is the version that we should have had a long time ago. I think Roman and Jimmy and Jay were good, but we knew where they were. Obviously, it was carried by a lot of the stuff that goes on with the Bloodline. You have to go back. It was carried by Cody. It was carried by Seth. It was carried by Kevin Owens. It was carried by Sami Zayn. At the moment, this Bloodline is being carried by who? These 4 men. So, in my opinion, I think I actually prefer these to the original Bloodline. I know that's controversial, and I know you guys are going to disagree. Hello.
Wrong.
A couple of weeks ago, you were like, no, I don't like them. But they're growing on people.
I see your point of view. I do see you on about. But Solo is as a current tribal chief. I don't mind it.
Who said he's the tribal chief, though? He's the head of
He
the
did.
bloodline. No, he's
He
the head
said
of
it
the
himself.
bloodline. When?
Last
He's
week,
been
I believe,
saying,
or the week before.
by orders of the tribal chief. That is what he's been saying.
No, he hasn't. So he has said it recently. I swear he did.
Let's have a look.
I am the tribal chief. He swear he said it. And I think he said it about Roman. When he said it about Roman, and he said when Roman returns, he will acknowledge me as a tribal chief.
Yeah, he will acknowledge me. He's not saying he is the tribal chief. He will acknowledge me. But I don't think Solo is the tribal chief. I still think it's someone else.
Unfortunately, we're at the moment we don't know who the chief is.
No,
at the moment I've been led to believe it's being led to believe that it's not Roman Reigns anymore. That it's Solo at the moment.
I will say this, right? This is what he's saying. Solo remarked that Roman Reigns was not man enough to retain the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes, right?
Yep.
And he said, let me just find the thingy. In a promo on SmackDown, Sikoa once again told the world that he is now the tribal chief, in quotes, of the bloodline. It's not the tribal chief, it's quoted as tribal chief. And for the first time ever, he called out Roman Reigns directly. That was the only time. I don't think he's the tribal chief, because at the beginning he was saying by orders of the tribal chief. There's more to it. I don't think it's Solo.
Now it's my turn to disagree with you. In the intellectual courts of madness that your brain is, you had the previous bloodline running the show. No matter what show they appeared on, they was feared by many. They was feared by all. They dominated everything that stood in front of them up until, for years, up until the ending of that story with Rhodes and Roman and everyone else that decided that they wanted to be in that match at Mania, and it was such a great match. And now we have this Pirates of the Caribbean WWE bloodline. Madness.
I think they're good, man.
I will agree with you on one thing. Take the bloodline name away. This is a very good faction. But in my opinion, they are not the bloodline. They are
this faction has been
the Shield line.
They're not. This faction, right, has been more dominant than how the bloodline were. They've done more dominance. As at the moment, right, in the last month or 2 months, they've been more dominant than probably the entire run that the bloodline had.
Objection.
Overall.
No, I don't think so, mate. Because when the bloodline first come out,
what did they do?
In 2019, they done very similar duties to what they're doing now.
No. When it first started, it was only Roman, then Jay, and then Jimmy.
It took a while for them to get going.
Right? They have been more dominant so far. They haven't put chairs around people's heads and thrown them into things. They haven't done the Shield triple power bomb. They've not gone in and right. They haven't gone in and brutalized people. They've done that in the match. After every single match, every time that this new bloodline, have done something, they've wrecked everyone and left. They are so dominant. I think they are more dominant than the original bloodline.
I will agree with you that they are dominant.
Bloodline didn't come out to destroy and attempt to end careers. These new ones are.
Of course they were. Roman Reigns was the head of the table, and what he said goes. And he wanted everyone to acknowledge them. Demanding respect. Exactly the same thing that this bloodline's doing, but they're doing it and throwing their weight around. They are there to wreck everything. To me, that's the same thing.
I will agree with Diggs here. They attempt to wreck careers. Bring back the Buried Alive match then.
No.
With what they've done, and I'm just using that as a hypothetical, with with what they've done, we've had poor Paul Heyman be ragdolled through the announce table. We've had Randy Orton get done over. We've had Kevin Owens with a chair wrapped around his face and neck being literally slingshotted into the corner post.
Right.
Yes, I will agree with you that they are dominant. But
Right.
in my intellectual opinion, they are not the Bloodline.
I disagree. They are a bloodline.
They are
the Bloodline, but they're, as I said a minute ago, they're more savage, they're more aggressive. They don't care about anyone's career.
All right.
They only care about themselves. Them four guys, they care about themselves. That's it.
Okay,
everyone else to them is just a body to destroy.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Name me the members of D-Generation X.
Triple H.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels.
One at a time. Okay. Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. China.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Billy Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
X-Pac.
Right. And this is
we're
my question.
Forgetting someone.
Hang on. Just those few names are fine, right?
Hold on. We're forgetting the main man.
Who?
You can't forget Kurt Angle being honorarily.
No, because then you put in bloody
added in
the Boogeyman, and then you put in Hornswoggle. Just legit members, right? Just legit members, right? Shawn Michaels was never there at the same time as when it was the New Age Outlaws. That was Triple H.
No. Yeah.
China then at one point left when the McMahon-Helmsley era in 2000. China won a part of them. It was Triple H, the New Age Outlaws, and X-Pac. And we still call them D-Generation X. So we can still call them D-Generation X, and there's only one original member. Why can't we call these Bloodline when there's only one original member?
That's a good point.
Is that or is that not the same?
No, it is the same. It is the same.
You can't argue.
Standing my ground.
Anyway,
Shade, you got to get it up, mate. Captain's right. He is right.
I'm standing my ground on both of you.
Anyway, let's move on into the final thing of the week. AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. What a week for AEW. All right, so firstly, I want to kind of... I did say I wanted this pod to be an hour. Obviously, it's gone longer than that. Anywho. All right,
whenever we say an hour, we know it's going over.
Let's kind of... I want to break this down. Obviously, I want to give it its time. Obviously, I want to give some talking points. So, firstly, Will Ospreay. He has his match against MJF at All In. MJF obviously come out, cut his promo. I must say, obviously you got to look in the background here. The American flag, and instead of having the stars, they're all of MJF's faces. What a beautiful little touch there. And then obviously MJF coming out and getting rid of, which was known as the International Champion, which has now been rebranded or renamed, whatever you want to call it, to the American Championship. I love that. Throwing the original International Championship in the bin. I really, really like that. Obviously, that set up the feud for Will Ospreay to come out. Obviously, cut his promo, pointed at the All In sign. Obviously, being from England, we should be rooting for Will Ospreay. I mean,
100%.
I believe everyone is. I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be. I think I'm in two minds here because I feel like this could be a good main event. However, I feel like the women's match between Mariah May and Toni Storm, I think that needs the main event All In.
Now, I'm looking forward to.
Go on.
I'm looking forward to this. I love Will Ospreay, and I also love MJF. I love both sides. Yeah, it's going to be. It has the potential to be the main match, but as you said, we've got another match that could trump this one. So I'm looking forward to this. I love this rivalry. I love the touches on the flag and putting a championship in the bin. And I'm gonna finish my statement with that looks like Cody Rhodes' new title.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
that's what Cody Rhodes' title should look like. Look how sick that looks compared to the Guild title. No, what I'm saying is, look how cool that looks. Yeah.
Right.
Compared to the, as I called it, the Shield title. Now, me and Deeks were talking about this off air a few days ago.
What the frick is
We-
the Shield title?
We don't like Cody Rhodes' title.
WWE Championship that Cody Rhodes holds.
Right. Why are we talking about Cody?
I'm comparing the two championships.
Right,
This
listen.
is
Just
what
focus-
the championship should be looking like. This is a championship. MJF has done well here.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest. I prefer the international title. I did the American one. Obviously, it's gimmicked, but I prefer the original AEW international title. I think that's probably one of my favorite titles that they've released in a while. I really
Yeah,
like the look of it.
I'll agree. AEW seems to do titles right.
Some, although they do overcomplicate them. In my opinion, I think some of them look very overcomplicated.
On this quick title conversation, and you can disagree with me or agree with me or not, the current company with the best titles, in my opinion, would be TNA.
I mean, that's a new podcast in itself, but then they have just revamped them. Anyway, forget about that title for a minute. I want to talk about the importance of what's going on here. MJF versus Will Ospreay. Right? Obviously, Will Ospreay's on his home turf. It's going to be happening at All In on 25th of August. It's obviously we need to do like a predictions video for that. That'll be really fun to do. I'm intrigued to see where they go with it because Ospreay's only recently just lost it, but he lost it on technicality. Right? Obviously, the timer come up. MJF hit him with the AEW ring. Could he have got the job done if he hadn't done that? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's interesting to see will Ospreay retain the title back at Wembley? I'm intrigued, man. I'm so intrigued. It's going to be so good. Obviously, there is a few more highlights. Something else that happened. We finally get the debut of Kamille. So, Deeks, obviously, I know you're unaware of Kamille. So she signed, right, to... Let me get the date up for you. So Kamille was signed to AEW apparently a few months back, and people have been bitching and complaining about when she's gonna show her face, when she's gonna appear. And I think she appeared in a way where no one else thought. I thought people think she was gonna come in, kind of like wreak havoc and destruction or whatever it is she was gonna do on her own. But she's Mercedes Moné, formerly Sasha Banks. Is she her enforcer? I don't know. Obviously, she took out Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, obviously in her match. What's your thoughts on this? Do you like the idea of Mercedes Moné having an enforcer? Do you think that's going to be... Do you think that works for her character? Obviously, she's a heel. She come in as a babyface, didn't work. Crowd didn't really get over with it. She kind of transitioned into a heel, naturally transitioned into a heel. Since then, she's on a really good roll. Do you think someone like Mercedes Moné needs an enforcer like Kamille?
Well, from what I know about this woman when she was in WWE, she's very small and light. So having an enforcer would help her out a lot. So I'm going to say yes. It'd be a good thing for her to have an enforcer.
And what's your thoughts on this? So Kamille was believed to have signed to AEW in February, hasn't been around, and she finally appeared like in July. Now, I'm not saying that she was signed and Tony was just keeping her to the side. I'm not saying that at all, right? It was believed that she was signed at one point and then she wasn't wrestling or doing anything. Do you think it's a good idea having someone signed and then waiting on them and striking at the right time? Or do you think if you sign someone, if there's enough buzz, they should kind of debut straight away? What's your thoughts on that?
Yes and no. If there's enough buzz, bring them out, let them have their run, let them build their legend up. Yes, fine.
Yeah.
But if the hype you think isn't high enough yet, and you haven't got a spot ready for him to go into, then no, hold him off.
Yeah.
So I'm happy either way. So either the hype wasn't high enough for me to bring him in, which is fair enough, or the spot wasn't there right then at the time for her to come in.
Yeah.
So either way, have AEW signed her, booked her, worked with her to get her going, It's up to them how they want to do it. I'm happy either way. She's a good wrestler. She's got a great character. She's got a good moveset. She's tough. She's robust. She's now started on a heel climb. See what she do. They can do with her.
Yeah, I agree. Jade, what do you reckon? Same question.
I really like it.
It's good. Okay, but do you think it's a
I
good
really
idea to have
like
someone?
it. I really like where it's going. Nah, just go full guns blazing with it. I really like where it's going. It's great to see Mercedes doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
As well, that we give credit where credit's due, and having an enforcer is just a little bit more protection. Let's say in the future, let's say champion. Why not have a bit of protection with that championship?
Mm-hmm. I really like the idea of Mercedes having the enforcer because I'll be honest, I don't think she's the greatest when it comes to cutting promos. However, she's really good in the ring. But having someone stand there and make her look more stronger and dominant kind of just gives it more of a fear factor. The same with, for example, Brock Lesnar can't cut a good promo. However, Heyman can. I'm not saying Kamille's going to be her mouthpiece. However, I feel like Kamille's is, as you said, like extra protection. And I think less people are more likely to go out there when she's there, unless they've got like a death wish. But yeah, no, I really like the idea. Do you like the idea of a female enforcer?
Yeah, always. Anyone can have an enforcer. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, big, small. Doesn't matter. Everyone can have an enforcer. Enforcers are always good to have around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy for her to have an enforcer. You know, some of the great wrestlers in the past have had enforcers. Mm-hmm. You know, you one of the top names that comes out and comes straight to into my head off the top of the gun was $1 Million Man. He always had enforcers.
Yeah,
always. And that guy was a big guy. He wasn't small. He's like he was like what 6'2", like 250, 260. He wasn't small, but he had enforcers.
I would say, China was a great enforcer. He was an enforcer for Triple H.
Yeah, China was another one.
Exactly. Obviously, I'm not, but I like the idea. I like it's something that's Kamille can kind of get into and kind of sink her teeth into. I think it's a good spot for her because she gets extra support from obviously Mercedes, obviously who knows the business. She knows that she's going to be working with someone. If she still feels a little bit green and she doesn't know working the camera as well, that she'll pick that up really quickly. Being teamed with someone and kind of getting this rub straight away, and kind of like the TBS obviously is the other women's title, right? But being around the title picture kind of gives us some like experience being around that field. She's going to know how to work certain people. She's going to have a specific job to do, so she's going to be able to learn that craft quickly. And then when we finally get to see her perform as an actual singles wrestler, whether that means that she turns on Mercedes, Sasha, whatever you want to call her, whether that's a babyface turn or a full heel turn on Mercedes, and then she goes over, there's something already set and lined up for her. So there is a plan in the works already. So I think it's a great idea. I really, really enjoy it.
Really good.
I think it's very interesting. The final thing I want to talk about is this. So we had the AEW Blood and Guts match. Absolutely, probably the best one that I think I've seen of them do since they've done Blood and Guts. Probably one of my favorites. It had the Acclaimed in it. Oh my goodness, mate! It was just insane. The moment I want to talk about though is so here, Jack Perry obviously is handcuffed to the cage. He takes a unprotected chair shot to the head. All right. Now, I don't want to get controversial and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I just want honest opinions. Now, the chair was gimmicked. A lot of people were saying that the chair was shaved down, so it was very, very, very thin. So when he did take it, obviously there was impact and there was some noise, but it wasn't as dangerous as it could have been. Okay. And obviously the best thing they've done as well was they put the word scapegoat which is basically his nickname. I put the word scapegoat on the chair so they knew exactly what chair to use for an additional protection. So everyone knew what chair to use, right? Now, this is my question. If the chair was gimmicked, it was shaved down, it was still relatively, done it in a way where it was safe enough for him to take it. Do you think in this day and age, I don't want to talk about the past, in this day and age, with what we know about concussions and headshots and chair shots and all this kind of stuff, do you think any wrestler should be taking an unprotected chair shot to the head? Just a yes or no.
So the way I look at this is there's two minds to it. There's two sides. And I know we only talk about wrestling, but I'm going to compare it to something that's recently modern and that we see often. Let's look at football, soccer, for anyone
in America.
Who calls it soccer. Let's say when two players collide their heads, the game is stopped to check on them. Yeah, concussions are being treated more serious as the years go on. Yeah, let's look at rugby. Rugby, for anyone in America, basically NFL, very similar. In rugby, similar. There are similarities there. For rugby, there is no protection. It is just you just go full, and obviously we see the tackles brutal. Now, when two heads collide in rugby, which I do see because I actually do enjoy watching it. It's the same as football. It is stopped. It is dropped. Now, let's take this into the wrestling world. If you're going to take a chair shot unprotected to the head, whether it's shaved down or not, you can't then stop the match to go check on that wrestler.
I mean, you can.
You can, but he's handcuffed to the cage in that spot. A ref can't then open the door to run in because it will ruin the spot. I'm going to say in the wrestling world, it is unsafe no matter if the chair is shaved down to a thin sheet of paper. It shouldn't have happened because it does put, let's say, if the chair didn't hit in the right place. Let's say if it hit on I'll call it the rim, the top part of the chair. That's hard as anything. That's solid. It could have gone horribly wrong. I'm grateful it didn't, but I think it should be looked at in such the most careful way.
All right, Dix, what about you? What do you say?
See, for myself, my answer is no, it should never have happened. Because unfortunately, through my dating playing sports, I have suffered 3 or 4 concussions, and it's not a nice feeling. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And concussions are not nice to have, people. So in this situation, I feel sorry for the guy strapped to the fence in a steel cage and hit with a steel chair. I feel sorry for the guy. It should never happened.
Yeah. I mean, from a perspective of the magical blood and guts, so it's blood and guts like that. I mean, for crying out loud, they some of the wrestlers got hit with staples. They had a staple gun and it was stapled. Mikado got his finger stapled. Trying to think who else. Swerve Strickland got stapled all over their back by the Elite. That was interesting. Max Caster had thumbtacks put in his mouth, then he got super kicked. People went through tables. People got thrown. Trying to think, Swerve and Hangman Page flew off of the side of the entrance ramp. And then it basically culminated at the end with the only way for this match to basically finish is if someone says basically they surrender, right? And Jack Perry was like, basically, he was in his position, he took the chair shot, and then out come Darby Allin from under the ring, and he literally, from what we know, he gimmicked a can of petrol, and he had a lighter, and basically he was like, if you don't surrender, I'm going to set fire to you. And then in doing so, he also got a match at All In for Jack Perry's title, which is the TNT Championship. So obviously there was story there to tell, and obviously there was a narrative there. There was something there to fill that moment. My issue is the chair shot. Look, I would say back in the day, when people didn't care, like, and the concussions were different. I think concussions were they were treated very different. Right?
Blasé.
Now,
Blasé.
yeah, they were just like, oh, whatever. Nowadays, it's so different, and there's more information coming about concussions all the time. That for him taking that chair shot and being okay, like, I'm glad, but man, I'm unsure. Like, I'm unsure. Like, I just think unprotected chair shots to the head
Never
they're
ever.
bad.
Not nowadays. Not nowadays.
Yeah,
Sorry, no. I've been concussed myself multiple times. It's not nice feeling, people. It's horrible. You feel ill. You feel dizzy. It's hard to move around. Your room's spinning constantly. Not nice. It's horrible. Don't get concussion, guys. Please. It's not nice.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah, and I mean, look, I think a lot of wrestlers would rather fall into a set of thumbtacks than get smacked on the head with an unprotected chair shot because of the concussion.
I know I would definitely.
Thumbtacks you can pull out, you know.
It's-
But then even that, I feel like that's quite risky. But no, this is the world of wrestling. You know, obviously they put their bodies on the line all the time. But in my opinion, I just think the unprotected chair shot, even though it was reportedly gimmicked and it was shaved down and they done it in the safest way possible, and obviously he had his head bent, the chair was kind of bent afterwards, everything was done in the safest possible way, I still cringe at unprotected chair shots to the head. Like, because obviously the brain's in there, it's going to rattle your brain. Like,
let me emphasize that point of, imagine if where they shaved the chair down, as I said, if the chair hit wrong, you got such a more serious outcome.
That's happened. The last time they used a gimmick chair, right? I think it was AEW's. I think it was All In before it was actually AEW, and Sean Spears hit Cody over the head, and it was a gimmick chair, and the back of the chair, the top of the chair, hit the back of Cody's head. Everything was gimmicked.
Yeah,
the whole
I
chair
remember.
was gimmicked, and then he split his head open. You know, I'm glad that Jack Perry wasn't. Obviously, it was cut open anyway because it was during the match. Obviously, that was again pre-planned. However, I'm just glad it wasn't as severe as it could have been. But yeah,
let me make one point on it. Bring the graphic up, and I think we'll all agree on this.
Boom, there you go.
He looks concerned to take it.
No, it's just in character. I think this was after. I think this was either after or just before. I can't remember. But like that's in character. Like, he's just standing there because he doesn't want to give up.
Even though, like, looking at his eyes there, he's like, well, this is coming, brace myself for it. That's what he's going to be thinking in his mind.
I hope he's thinking this is all good. You know, like I said, they use.
Like, let's look at like the poor guy is handcuffed. Yeah, he's so relying on the person swinging the chair to do it properly and safely.
Yeah.
And the other side of the outcome is it goes wrong, you get injured or worse. Now, that 50-50 coin flip should not happen in modern day wrestling. Now, what they should have done is only handcuffed one of his arms so he could still protect himself.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been as. This is the thing. I get what you're saying. For a safety aspect, that looks good. But as a visual, it doesn't look as good. That's the point. When you go for a visual aspect, certain things have to change. And I think this is one of them things where the visual was. They wanted the visual to be more important. That's why everything was gimmicked to the ability it could have been.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, every wrestling company, I hope, should be the same.
Yeah, look, I agree.
The main thing to think of, no matter what the match is the constant safety of the people involved in the match.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. Right, and this is funny. The fact that we're discussing this and about that unprotected chair shot. Yeah, in that match, they had staple guns. They were thrown through tables off the top of almost off the cell of the cage-like structure. They got thrown off the side of the two of them flew off the entrance ramp. Someone else was handcuffed to the entrance, like the outside of the cage. Swerve Strickland, and obviously he was pummeled by Hangman. They had thumbtacks and they were like super kicked into someone's mouth. They were put through a table. They were hit with Singapore canes. Someone went through another table. Like, so much happened. And we're literally in the middle of saying, after all of that, and we're like, well, they need to have the wrestlers' safety at heart in all this interest.
Yeah, but the thing is,
very hard
with the thumbtacks in the mouth, the sharp bit of thumbtack could be removed. So that's very safe.
But what I'm saying is, it's just a funny world of professional wrestling and how we see it as a viewer, because we're saying the wrestler's safety is the main interest here. Yeah, as we're saying that, the one thing we're talking about is this headshot here. However, we're not saying that having thumbtacks put in your mouth and being super kicked is not a problem. Do you know what I mean? It's such a funny world in professional wrestling. We discuss one thing at a high level, and we say, oh, that's really bad. But then someone being stapled with staple guns, that's absolutely fine. Like, it's not, but it's
the craziest place.
Even though, do you know what I mean? It's just a crazy world in professional wrestling. But
on that note of what you said, it's a crazy world. Do you remember the company you showed me? Yeah, that was just sheer insane.
Yeah.
That's borderline dangerous.
Bro, that is dangerous. That's full dangerous.
On a ridiculous scale.
But that's that type of wrestling. It's different. But then, I mean, we discussed this. But then let's go back to Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania, or we go back to Mick Foley versus Randy Orton. I think it was I can't remember what the show was. Backlash, maybe. Right? Or we go further back with Terry Funk versus Mick Foley. Mick Foley coming off the top of a Hell in a Cell match. Like, do you know what I mean? There's always a level of danger.
The only thing I compare this steel chair shot to of just danger level, where someone may have got seriously injured or even died, was Mick Foley versus Undertaker at Hell in a Cell chokeslam through the cell. That's the only thing I can compare this to of danger level where someone could die.
No, I would to a degree, but let's go back to ECW, right? And I believe it was Raven and maybe Sandman, and it was called the Chair Shot Heard Around the World. Exactly the same setup as this, right? And that was loud and impactful, and that was ECW in the 90s.
Yeah, but the thing is, saying ECW back in the day had barbed wire matches with ropes for ropes. So
we're talking about wrestling companies. You know, it's a very rare match nowadays. But let's go back a little bit to Inferno matches playing with fire.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, like, this is what I'm saying. There has to be a fine line with when it comes to certain things in wrestling and certain things that you can do, certain things you can't do. And I think, yes, they can go through thumbtacks and they can go through a table and they can be hit with a Singapore cane
or go onto a ladder.
Yeah, off a ladder or onto a ladder. But I just think all of that has a boundary. But I think it's a surface area of you can flatten your body down. You can kind of control where it's going. As you rightly said, I mean, Briscoe was the one that hit Jack Perry with the chair. Right?
Yeah.
He done it in the safest way possible. But as you said, let's say for example, he didn't aim enough, or it was a millimeter down, a millimeter higher. There's so much more of a risk factor, and it's to the head. Like, it's just an insane spot. And I think it's been such a talking point, and so many people have been trying to shit on it. I'm not shitting on it. I thought it was a great spot. I really enjoyed Blood and Guts. Probably one of the best ones I've
I'm the same as you. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not against it. But you have to be so careful with this kind of action. Yeah. It's a very, very thin line of yes, no, ouch, that hurt, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not crapping on
the line. You know? I'm not against it. If the wrestler wants to take it, go ahead. Be the hero. Show your blood and guts to the world. Go for it. But myself... I was told that as part of the match. I'd say to the manager or the owner or the production crew, screw you, no.
Yeah. Oh, you mean.
I will end this with one statement.
Because of my own experiences of concussion.
All right, go on, Jade.
I'll end this with one statement. No matter what the company, whether it's a big company or a small company, there has to be a line drawn between entertainment and stupid.
Yeah, I get that. So, all right, guys. listen, that's kind of a wrap. I think we've kind of covered everything as it is. There isn't anything else to talk about. I do want to say thank you for everyone that's joined. Obviously, we've had a consistent amount of viewers, which is lovely. I'm so glad we're back streaming on X again. It's always great when we can do that. Obviously, that's where we get like quite a lot of views from. We've got loads on YouTube and quite a few on TikTok, Twitch as well today, which is lovely to see. So just dying. Anyway, thank you all for joining. Guys, it's been great talking wrestling with you. Obviously, it's a Saturday, not a Sunday. Yeah, let's look forward to the next week and see what crazy world of wrestling happens next. I'll speak to you guys. Well, I'll speak to you guys later. But all the people listening, I'll speak to you next week. Peace out.
Peace out.
See ya.